How's everybody doing today? It is December 8th, 2020, 7:35 p.m. here in Michigan. We are going to roll through some articles here that I have pulled up that I want you to see that all go straight in line with what we've been talking about for the last, last 6 months, but that we've really been talking about for the last week. And the reason is we're getting to that stage where we are finally, they're done talking about, this vax coming and how they're gonna, get it out there, who's gonna get it, etc., etc. We are in that stage now. They are doing it, okay? And let's just check this out. This is from the Business Insiders from 2 days ago. It says China begins huge CV19 vax rollout with doses reportedly already administered to 1 million citizens. So already there's 1 million people that have gotten one of these CV19 vaxes, okay? And with this right here with China, obviously it doesn't say, that it was mandatory, but most people know how China is, and I would say that, most likely we know if they, whether they had a choice in it or not. But we'll leave that one up in there. I'm sure you can figure that one out by yourself, okay? And look at this. We'll just read a couple of these bullet points. It says, health officials in China began giving at-risk citizens emergency access to vax doses. Okay? It says, we must be prepared for large-scale production. It says, state media said developing countries may seek vaxes from China if they're approved before those made by Western companies. See, this is all coming down to money. Massive, massive amounts of money. Who can, get their vax to this country faster, who can produce more, who can sell more, etc., etc. Okay? Look at this says. It says more than 1 million healthcare workers and other at-risk groups have already received the vaxes. It says the Associated Press reported Sunday it detailed millions of orders from the country's provinces. Health officials in world's most populous country, which is home to almost 1.4 billion people, haven't yet released a comprehensive plan. Look at it. It says Chinese government researchers are testing several vaxes from about a dozen countries. Okay, with the domestic vax from China pharmaceutical group or Sinopharm nearing final approval, the AP reported, citing an interview the company's vice premier gave to Xinhua News Agency, a quasi-state entity. Says, we must be prepared for large-scale production, said Vice Premier Sun Chunlan per the Associated Press. Okay? It goes on. It says, China's effort to approve vaxes, even for emergency uses, are likely to affect other countries, especially those that have lagged in such research. State media reported Thursday. Yeah, exactly. See, that's the thing. It's all about money, just like I just said. So they're gonna, they're the first ones out there that have this stuff developed or have something, close to being, where it can be, given to everyone and shipped everywhere, so they're going to make the money, right? That's why everybody's just battling to who can get as many doses sold, because it's just billions, and I mean billions with a B, that are in this entire, vax situation, how much has been put into and how much is going to continue to get put into, okay? Let's jump to the U.S., okay? Like right here, it says Trump hails vax miracle with millions of doses soon. Here we go. Millions of doses, okay? Says President Donald Trump celebrated the expected approval of the first U.S. vax for the CV Tuesday as the White House worked to instill confidence in the massive distribution effort that will largely be executed by President-elect Joe Biden. Trump said the expected approvals are coming before most people thought possible. They say it's somewhat of a miracle, and I think that's true, he declared. Here, you want to check this out? Check out him saying this, himself. Here you go.
We're just days away from authorization from the FDA, and we're pushing them hard. at which point we will immediately begin mass distribution. Before Operation Warp Speed, the typical time frame for development and approval, as you know, could be infinity. And we were very, very happy that we were able to get things done at a level that nobody has ever seen before. We're very hopeful that the FDA will authorize the Pfizer vaccine within days. We've got to get it moving. And Moderna vaccine almost immediately thereafter. Large numbers of tests and samples have been done, so hopefully that'll go very quickly. If authorized, tens of millions of vaccine doses will be available this month, and we'll get it distributed very quickly. We'll have that all set, and hundreds of millions more will quickly follow. Every American who wants the vaccine will be able to get the vaccine, and we think by spring we're going to be in a position that nobody would have believed possible just a few months ago. Amazing, really amazing. Today we're on the verge of another American medical miracle, and that's what people are saying. People that aren't necessarily big fans of Donald Trump are saying, whether you like him or not, this is one of the greatest miracles in the history of modern day medicine or any other medicine, any other age of medicine.
So there you go. You heard him say it right there, okay? Well, so this, this miracle vax, right? So they're going to do everything they can to talk people into taking this vax, okay? And it goes on, it says right here, every American who wants the vax will be able to get the vax. And we think by spring, we're going to be in a position nobody would have believed possible just a few months ago, Trump said. Pfizer developed its vax outside of Operation Warp Speed, but it's partnering with the federal government on manufacturing and distribution. That's right, federal government. Do you think you know why? Correct, right? Federal government getting in the middle of this on the manufacturing distribution. That is your military, along with many other, parts of the federal government and manufacturing. But know this, that the military is going to be a massive part. They've already said it. I've shown you multiple times.
We're now just looking at the start. But when you really think about scaling this up, airports like Painfield and others could prove critical, considering that Washington alone has more than 7 million residents. In the distribution of vaccines, speed will matter. The Washington National Guard says it's on standby for any request from the State Department of Health and the Department of Defense to use its logistical capabilities, from aircraft to trucks, to get the vaccines where they need to. Need to fly vaccines to the San Juan Islands? They can do that. Vaccine distribution is complicated because of the need for refrigeration, especially the Pfizer vaccine frozen to the level dry ice provides. Specialized cargo containers to minus 94. Airlines, including American and United, already involved with specialized container shipments to maintain that temperature.
If the temperature drops by even a quarter of a degree, the alarm goes off and our team is able to investigate what's going on and make sure that the shipment's ready for the rest of its journey.
At SeaTac Airport, Seattle-based Alaska Airlines cargo operations are prepared for carrying out its part of the logistics job. Alaska could pick up larger shipments from here or in Anchorage and distribute them to some 21 airports within the state of Alaska. Example, the airline station in Bethel alone would distribute the vaccine to some 70 villages. In a statement, we're in close contact with government officials and logistics providers as plans become finalized. With an extensive route network across North America, we're in a position to support this crucial portion of the medical supply chain. Now, the big cargo carriers, UPS and FedEx, are also involved in Operation Warp Speed to get these vaccines out.
They have the National Guard in place in the United States, but this is bigger than the United States. This is everywhere. Okay, just like, look, right here. England began its first vaxes earlier Tuesday to great fanfare as the world mounts its fight against the pandemic that has killed more than 285,000 Americans and some 1.5 million people worldwide. They got to try to throw these huge numbers up there, but like we've done since the beginning, if you look into the numbers yourself, you'll realize that they're not as large as, they're saying that they are, or that this virus should be causing. Okay? And look at this. This is what I have been warning about, talking about for as long as I can remember, okay? How everything that this virus, what they've done, all these governments, whether it's the United States, Australia, China, Russia, it doesn't matter. Europe, anywhere in Europe, it doesn't matter, because this is what the end goal was, okay? The end goal was mandatory vax, but then also what they're doing right now. They take away all of your rights. It doesn't matter what it is. You are not going to have that right to do that, okay? And this is how they put out the articles to try to make it look like they care, okay? This says, privacy concerns, a challenge for Trump administration's effort to track CV vaxes. This is only from a couple hours ago, okay? Privacy concerns, really? Have they ever cared about our privacy before? They track everything we do, from our cell phones to if you have any type of a debit card, credit card, everything you do is being tracked. Okay? It says right here, the Trump administration's plan to coordinate existing vax registries into a national database for the CV19 vax rollout is raising privacy concerns among some immunization officials who say the data should remain only with the states. See, now this is the thing too. This is what they're saying right here. This isn't them coming out, the states coming out and saying, oh, we shouldn't do it at all. They're just saying that the data should remain with them. This is the whole end game right here. They have to make sure that they can record whether you have gotten this vax or not. Because as I'm going to show you here in the next few tabs, you're going to start seeing how badly you're going to need this vax. This is what they're saying, that you're going to need this vax, not only to get your life back, some semblance of your life back, but to get to work, to ride an airplane, to go to sports games, to go to the gym. Oh yeah, we'll just keep going. You're going to see this, okay? Okay, so here, we're going to start getting into this information that I have pulled up for you, showing how they're tracking and tracing you, okay? This is from only 10 hours ago. This one says, CV19 smartphone tool rolled out in California to trace the virus cases, okay? It says, Californians have a new way to find out if they were exposed to CV19 as cases and hospitalizations soar throughout the state. Fear, fear, fear. Okay, it says, Governor Gavin Newsom on Monday announced a new CV19 exposure smartphone tool that's being rolled out. CA Notify was tested out at a University of California's campuses earlier this fall and will be available statewide on Thursday. Now, that's a big point that I want to point out right here, okay? A big part of this, how it talks about how it was tested out right here at these campuses, right? At the University of California campuses. You remember how many times we've had all the stories I've shown you where they've put the colleges on lockdown, right? Locking down these these young adults, locking them down and forcing them to get tested, forcing them, to do all these different things. And just like the article I showed you 2 days ago, where they had to actually get tested before they left, before they went home for Thanksgiving break, not to come back to school. That was just to go home. So you can see how they're always testing us, right? Well, this is how they're showing. They're showing their hand right here. They were testing these things at those universities. That's why they were doing it all over the United States, okay? It said, Newsom said that in the 8 weeks since the tool's launch, more than 60 positive test verification codes have been issued. This holds a lot of promise, Newsom said of the new tool. 16 other states, plus Guam and Washington, D.C., have already made available the system that was co-created by who? Apple and Google. Through most residents of those places aren't using it. It says, this is only as good as people's adaptation and utilization, said Newsom's of the new tool. The more people that participate in it, the more that opt in, the more effective the program can be, he added. We are hoping there will be enough to make this meaningful. See, this is the whole thing. This is what they're saying. Oh, it's only going to work if you listen. If you don't listen, this app does nothing, right? If you don't, if you don't download this app, if you're not using it correctly, then it's not going to work. Well, you already know what happens then, right? Because they come out a little bit later and they say, well, look, we gave you this app. We gave you these choices to where you could just track it on your phone, but now you won't listen. You didn't listen. So now we got to go a little bit more, right? So now you're going to start getting into things like this, okay? This is a new tracker, okay, that is being worn. You can wear it around your neck. You can put it in your wallet, it looks like. But here, this is a Bay Area company adopts new contact tracing gadget to track CV19 at work. Now check this out.
It looks like a keyless access card commonly used at many offices, but inside is Bluetooth technology that keeps tabs on others wearing the same card. It stores who a person has been around and for how long, which are critical for contact tracing.
What we're doing is actually giving the business visibility on who the person infected has been in proximity with in the last 20 days so that they can take action, right? They can isolate only a handful of people and not the whole organization.
The Emeryville law firm of Weinberg, Roger, and Rosenfeld has 56 employees wearing these cards created by Contact Herald. Just 10 days ago, it allowed administrator Jennifer Calhoun to determine who had been in proximity with an employee who had been near someone who tested positive.
With everyone's anxiety being very high around this, having that confidence coming back into the office and having our employees feel confident that we're taking care of them, that we're doing everything we can to be safe.
To address privacy concerns, the data stays on the card until a need arises. Each tracing card costs $30. The law firm says it spent an additional $1,500 to acquire the software and an iPad to manage it. Other contact tracing systems using mobile phones have to rely on users to keep Bluetooth on and to have their phones with them at all times. The card and lanyards serve as a constant reminder to maintain social distancing.
Yeah, that's pretty, that's exactly what we've expected, right? I mean, look at that. I mean, that's, a card that, has a chip in it that you're carrying around and that shows that you did what? That you took the vax, okay? And it's going to allow you to get into places, to do this, to do that, right? Well, we all expected that to be coming, all right? Here's another part right here. This is in Texas. This says Texas to use the VAERS, V-Safe app to track side effects, okay, for early recipients of the CV19 vax. Now, the reason that this one is different, okay, this isn't tracking to see if you got it. This is an actual app that patients, like here, I'll read this real quick, okay, sorry. VAERS is an online system where patients can report side effects, and V-Safe is an app that will provide personalized health check-ins via text and surveys, okay? So see, this is different. This is them, you can say, oh, well, I feel like I am, I still have a fever, I have a cough now, etc., okay? That's what this one's going to be for, all right? And they are able to use this in line with the other one to not only now test if you've had it, now they can see how many you've had, if you've had any, adverse reactions, if they're going to have to come and see, if you've had bad reactions, then what? You're most likely not going to come back right for the second one. And they need to know that, okay? They need to know all of this information. That's what it's all about, okay? And why did they want this info? Right here. I'm going to start rolling through these tabs so you can see this, okay? Look at this. UK venues could demand proof of CV vax to grant entry. Look at this. It says, vax ministers suggest condition of entry to the bars and cinemas. Restaurants, bars, and entertainment venues in the UK could require people to provide proof they have been vaxxed against CV before they are allowed in. Here we go, right? This is what we said. It is likely venues will use technology similar to the CV19 contact tracing app to check if customers have had the shot, Zawai told BBC Radio on Monday. Says ministers hope a vax can start being rolled out within weeks, even though none have yet been approved. It says, and it could help a revival of the UK's entertainment industry, which has been battered by the shuttering of theaters, restaurants, and bars, and tight capacity limits on those which have been able to stay open. Says Zawai, who was appointed Vax's minister on Saturday, was asked if people in the UK will get proof of their vax status. He says, we are looking at the technology and, of course, a way of people being able to inform their GP that they've been vaxxed, he said, referring to the community doctors. But also, I think you'll find restaurants and bars and cinemas and other venues, sports venues, will probably also use that system, as they've done with the app. So there you go, right? Doesn't matter what it is, he's telling you right here in the United Kingdom that you're pretty much going to need this, okay? And you are. He's just, this is how, it's always that step-by-step process, like I tell you. They're not going to come right out and say, bam, you have to do this, right? But they will show you step-by-step, well, this is why you should do it. Then they'll make it a little stronger, tell you you really need to, and then it'll be you have to do it. That's just how it works. But let's just keep going, okay? Here is another one, okay? And this one, check this out. This is saying, this article here is saying that that we are actually, look at the demand for CV vaxes expected to get heated and fast. See, a new poll finds that by the end of November, 60% of Americans said they would get a vax for the CV. This is from today, okay? And it goes on. It says, Americans have made no secret of their skepticism of CV-19 vaxes this year, with fears of political interference and a warp speed timeline, blunting the confidence in the shots. As recent as September, nearly half of U.S. adults said they didn't intend to be inoculated. But with two promising vaxes primed for release, likely within weeks, experts in ethics and immunization behavior say they expect attitudes to shift quickly, from widespread hesitancy to urgent, even heated demand. Oh yeah, see, that's what they're saying. Oh, it's because they're out there having people like Obama saying that it's good. They're going to have all these different celebrities and people that, they said that they could, people trust their credibility, okay? And as long as they're up there showing that, more people are talking about it, then yes, they're going to keep trying to get more and more people to do this willingly, okay? And right here, you want to know the reason why that they're saying that they believe this, where, people will really, really be wanting this vax, that things are going to change their mind. Well, what's going to change their mind? Listen here. Once vax supplies become more plentiful, perhaps by May or June, another consideration is sure to boost demand. Requirements for proof of CV vax for work and travel. There it is, everyone. Another time they're telling you, oh, well, yeah, eventually you'll want to do this. You might be against it right now, but guess what? If you want to go back to work or you want to travel or do anything, then guess what? You're going to come get our vax. It says, it's inevitable that you're going to see immunity passports, or that you're required to show a certificate on the train, airplane, bus, or subway, Kaplan predicted. Probably also to enter certain hospitals, probably to enter certain restaurants and government facilities. Everybody, it's here, ID 2020 or whatever it's called in your own local governments, your own countries, okay? This is it. And once again, look at by May or June. Don't you love how they always know when, right? I guarantee you when it gets around to those months, they're going to be right on again, right? They always are. See, this is from the Wall Street Journal. It says, the CV-19 vax passports could help life return to normal, but experts urge the caution. Oh yeah, here's your experts again, right? In returning life to normal. How many times have we heard this, right? It says, requirement to prove immunity raises practical and ethical issues. Should vax people have greater freedom? This is crazy, right? This is what everything is talking about, okay? It doesn't matter where you're at, okay? That's what they're going to be talking about it, okay? Look, let's just keep going. I will leave the links to in the description like I always do, because there's great information in here, but I got to try to keep this video a little shorter for you so I can, get it out to you fast enough. So, here you go. Look at this is up in Canada. Check it out. Look at vax passport coming to Ontario. This is just from an hour ago, okay? It says, Ontarians may have to produce proof of CV-19 vax to attend theaters or work. Health Minister Christine Elliott cautioned Tuesday. Some people could face restrictions in where they can go without proof, So, the government will issue documentation confirming inoculation, she said. This is happening everywhere. It doesn't matter where it is. Now you want to talk of one of the biggest traveling industries there is, right? Your airlines, right? Check it out from today. Will airlines require vax passports in 2021? Whoo, screaming Agenda 21 here, isn't it? Just like, oh, it's right in my ear, just screaming it to me, right? Every one of these is what it keeps saying, okay? They all tie in together, all right? You know, and these last couple articles I just wanted to throw in here because they stood out to me, and I'd like to get your comments down below. Let me know what you think of these. Okay, check this out. It says, Consumer Alert, avoid CV19 vax and distribution scams. Florida Attorney General asked consumers to be wary, report vax scams and fraud. Now, this seems like a setup story to me. Like, you know, they'll be able to use this down the way is what I'm trying to get at, where they can say their vax doesn't do good. They can then come out and say what? Oh, well, that wasn't our vax. That must have been one of those scams. That must have been, you know, one of those fake ones that somebody else made and gave, right? Do you see how they leave themselves the back door? I've talked about that a lot, where they'll set up these stories. They're set up stories so that come this situation that, you know, arises, then they can say, oh, here we go. Here's our back way out. Well, it wasn't ours right here. That was just one of those, you know, fake ones that they did. You know, and they even go on. Look at, they even go further right here. Look at this, right? Check this out. Look at CV19 vaxes are liquid gold. Liquid gold to organized crime, Interpol says. Police groups say organized crimes groups may attempt to fake or steal supplies of new CV19 vaxes. There you go. Look at fake. Let me know what you think below, but I think that this could very well be used the way that I'm saying it. You know, I'm sure there's other things too, but these stories just don't seem to line up. I think these are going to be used down the road, okay? And then the last article that I had right here that I had to just throw up really quick, and because it was hard to even read through this, so I'll leave the link in the description for this one for sure. I'll even leave it at the top because you're going to have to read it to even believe it. It says, and this is from the New York Times, it says, what New York City sewers reveal about the virus. The pungent underground waterways, known for alligator tails and other lore, are routinely tested for traces of the CV. Yeah, you heard that. They're testing down in the sewers, okay? Yeah, and they're saying that this could actually be a better way to track than actually testing people person by person. Yeah, see, look, scientists are tracking outbreaks by monitoring the smelly gray effluent that flows through underground pipes in hopes of identifying CV clusters days before they appear through patient testing. It says the undertaking, which has ramped up in recent weeks, has mirrored efforts across the country to survey waterways for viral components. Flushed down toilets by infected Americans who are excreting it into feces, even when asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic. See, they're saying, oh, look, people didn't even know they had it. Well, when they had it, but they didn't know, they went to the bathroom and that got down into here, and now we're able to see that, all of that stuff was in this block or these 10 blocks, this area, that, oh, we have a breakout coming right here. It says rising traces of the virus were detected in New York in recent months in wastewater samples scooped from sewage treatment plants near CV hotspots in Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. It says, but now scientists say increases are being seen citywide as infection rates reach their highest level since spring. At first, we thought it was a testing error, but then we kept seeing it. Dr. Dimitri Katias, a scientist with the City Department of Environmental Protection, said of the initial heightened readings. This is just, are we really living in this world that they're testing, nasty stuff that's in the sewer to see if we could have an outbreak of this CV19? Oh, man, it is, it's nuts, right? It is. And look at this, another thing. See how they were doing it on college campuses again. In smaller towns and on college campuses, such testing is easier to conduct. But in New York, 7,500 miles of pipes handle 1.3 billion to 3 billion gallons of wastewater a day. depending on rainfall levels, making it nearly impossible for the scientists to pinpoint exactly which neighborhoods the viral remnants are actually coming from. This is just, so why are they doing it? You know, it's crazy. It really is. Go ahead and please read this, all right? Because at least read parts of it. It's just, it just shows how insane all of this is, that this could even be, you know, thought of to be doing this, to be taking the time, right? The time, and not only that, the money. Because look at this. This is the last part I wanted to show you. It says, look, at several academic partners helped the agency develop the lab methodology. It says, department officials said they have spent $250,000 on new equipment, acquired $300,000 from grants and academic partnerships, and hired a handful of new staff members. Yep, you just heard that. $250,000 in equipment, over $300,000 in grants that they're going to be putting in to see if your disgusting waste water and waste components have CV. This is the world that we live in, and I honestly cannot believe the things I read every day. So we're going to leave this here. I just want to tell everybody thank you just for always supporting the channel, being here, and commenting down below. It means a lot. And we're going to continue to knock out this truth. We will keep doing the best that we can. And hopefully we can save one or two more people, open up their eyes before it truly is too late. Because as you can see, we are there. We have days, okay? There's not months or years now. We have days. And, you know, I'm not saying until the end of the world. I'm saying until this all, you know, your entire mandatory vaccine starts coming into effect. And just like they said here, it doesn't have to be a mandatory vax, right? It can just be a, if you don't vax, you can't do anything in your life. Whether it's work, travel, eventually go into the grocery store, everything could, at the end, be tagged where you have to show proof of, you know, getting vaxxed. So, you know, we'll see how it all plays out, but it sure seems to be laying out exactly the way that they said it was going to. Kind of because we all believe this was a plan. Yeah, and I still do, and each day I read more and more. I think it was pretty obvious that this has been planned. But we'll leave it here. I'll get this edited, get it out to you. I hope everybody has a great day with your families. Remember, sit down today, make the plan. Don't wait another day. Tell your family you love them no matter what. Try to all resolve any small issues, because the way that this is, you know, things can change so fast. Actually, really quick, I do want to have say prayers going out to, he was a local, one of my brother's friends. His name was PJ. So if any of your family is watching, I just want you to know that my prayers are with you. PJ committed suicide last night. We don't know a lot of the details, but it's just horrible to see a 20-year-old, you know, young adult take his own life. And, you know, all we can do is just say the prayers go out to his family. So, everybody, you all stay safe, stay strong, no fear, no panic. We'll talk to you all real soon. God bless.